The 2013 Marketing Outlook continues with part 3 of 3 in our YouTube series. So we're going to have a quick talk here about creative and content investment, which is a big area that we all need to look at over 2013, 2014, and 2015, because a lot is going to be shifting over that time. So one of the things that we see a lot currently, or in the past, has been with environment-specific investment. And that is, you have an iOS, which is your iPhone or your iPad, and you have an Android, which is your Android phone as well as your tablets. And then, of course, you have your web models. And the mobile applications are being deployed through an individual store with a proprietary application software package and development package attached to them. So one of the things that we're going to see is the emergence of HTML5. There's nothing that HTML5 can't do that these proprietary applications, either for Windows 8, iOS, or Android, can, other than accessing the hardware and the camera. And we find for 95% of our marketing clients that that's simply not necessary. It's not necessary for content distribution and a lot of other items. So environment-specific investment will be replaced with HTML5 and web-based content. This is something that gets people away from having to develop multiple programs for their content and for their interactive marketing, and allows them to develop a single unified interface that's more broadly supported, and also gets you away from having to pay Apple and pay Google Play and pay Microsoft exorbitant amounts of money. So marketing dollars are going to shift to creative and apps to manage this content. So these are going to be unified apps that manage our marketing message and our content and our product information in a single HTML5 interface that can be used across all platforms and across all different types of devices. And marketing service providers, MSPs, they need to have a partner with solutions in place to profit from this shift. So you've got to have somebody that understands HTML5. You've got to have somebody that understands app development. You've got to have somebody that understands where the marketplace is heading, where that shift occurs, and that's the kind of role that can be filled by a technical agency or somebody like VDP Web. So definitely something to look at there starting in 2013. People who are able to talk to their clients about that and who understand what's going on, they're definitely going to have a jump on the competitors. So the big issue there that this leads us into is for 2013, locating that spending. Where's marketing spending going to go? A couple interesting facts here is that spending will increase in 2013. According to this survey, 44% will increase their marketing spending. 50% will stay the same. So there's lots of new money in the market coming in. And what we're finding is printers who don't diversify, people who don't add new services, people who don't get into the cross-media game, who don't get into the electronic, who don't get into email, who don't get into online tracking, they're going to get left behind. So it's very important to diversify, otherwise printers are going to be vulnerable to competitors that are able to provide a single source for their clients. So outsourcing is big. Outsourcing is 55% of folks are outsourcing. Printer MSPs that do this are our most successful clients. So we have printers that are picking up outsourced jobs for delivering email, for working with their clients on web projects, for working with variable data print, for integrated marketing, and those are definitely the most successful folks out there. So outsourced programs generate direct mail business. That's another key point here. When an outsourced program comes in, you're collecting data, you're getting names. There's always opportunities to do a follow-up, and it also keeps you in front of the client regularly so that they have a conversation point where you're discussing things on an ongoing basis, and that helps drive the print business as well. So very important there. And then, of course, it's about reducing the risk of losing clients. If people are outsourcing their jobs to other marketing service providers or firms that are more willing to take on certain projects, and you say you don't want to mess with it, you're kind of opening the door for that client to be speaking with another provider, and it really is only a matter of time before they're going to bid on print and other services, and you're going to get vulnerable there. So the other big issue here about outsourcing is very much about trust. So once a firm finds an established partner and they feel comfortable that they know what they're doing with these technical projects, with cross-media, with the web, with email, with testing, making sure all the ducks are in a row, it becomes about trust and reliability. And so this is not a commodity market. They're not looking for the lowest pricing. So the lowest pricing is not a key factor, and you're not going to be bidding just against price alone. You're really going to be working off of your reputation and how much they trust you. So outsourcers, they need service providers. 62% of outsourcing is on a per project basis. Very interesting statistic. So what does that mean? It means you must build a suite of services that are known to your clients. When you have a suite of services for outsourcing a project, whether that's deploying email, deploying ongoing communication, managing maybe the monthly marketing message that goes out electronically, managing the new member sign-up messages, managing surveys and polling, creating web content that goes behind a catalog, any of those things, those are suites of services that you can build and make known to your clients. Very, very important. So we'd say, get your clients to think of you as a provider. If you build up this suite of services and you have it well documented on your website, it's something that you talk about in your company newsletters, something that you talk about whenever you have a meeting with your clients. Remember us for this. Your clients are going to think of you, and they'll come back to you and think of you for those services when they pop up. Their department's busy, something's going on, they need to source something out. Get your clients to be thinking of you, to pick that phone up and call you to handle that project. So establish a solid track record for easy pricing and fast fulfillment. What does that mean? Your client knows about where your price points are for these projects, and they know that you'll get them done in a reasonable timeline. They know that you do these regularly. They know that you know what you're doing. So you have fast fulfillment and a fairly easy, predictable pricing model. So locating the spending, untapped markets. Untapped markets are a big thing that we want to talk about here. We think companies with 4 million plus in sales per year is a great market. These people tend to be overwhelmed. They're trying to grow their business. They've got a lot going on. They can't manage all their program communications, and at 4 million a year, people have money to spend on these things, and it often makes sense from a return standpoint to outsource. So those guys need trusted partners to fulfill. Small businesses that need content generation and distribution services. So there's a lot of small businesses that simply don't have a lot of reach. They don't have a lot of customer materials. They don't have ongoing relationships. Maybe not focus on them, but small businesses that do need that do need to be on the web, that do need to be presenting product information, that do need to be updating customers or members with information on a regular basis. That's a great place to look. Small businesses are local. They want to work with somebody that they can see locally. They want to work with somebody they can shake their hand. They don't want to go to these big cookie cutter guys that are out there on the web that are fulfilling this stuff. So it's a prime market. Some good bets, as I mentioned, membership organizations, a credit union, a club, a not-for-profit, anything of that nature is an excellent bet for getting into. And then anybody who offers contract-based services. So that would be somebody who has insurance, somebody who has a cyclical business, newsletters, outreach, information distribution, anything like that. Those are also great places to look. So that brings us down to our takeaways for our marketing overview for 2013. What are the key points that we talked about in the webinar? And so we'll recap here. Involvement in cross-media is critical for the following reasons. Increase access to data sources, and that helps drive the direct mail business. If you don't have access to the data, it's more difficult to bid on those print jobs. It's more difficult to get the trickle print jobs. It's more difficult to get the cyclical work. So get access to those data sources by being involved in cross-media, by helping generate those data sources, by helping generate opt-ins. So the other key thing here is that you're trying to retain spending that's being shifted directly from print budgets. You want to hold on to stuff that's heading towards online, that's heading towards landing pages. You want to make sure that budget that used to be in the printing budget stays with your firm. Otherwise, as print budgets shrink, your firm is going to be shrinking, and you'll have to supplement that with other people. If you want to keep the same percentage of money coming in from the existing clients, you have to be available to pick up this additional cross-media work. So avoid clients going to other service providers. We've mentioned this a few times, but at the end of the day, those guys are in front of your clients, and they will bid on print eventually. They will bid on those other services. And clients frequently, they prefer a unified provider that is familiar with all their communications, their branding, their data workflows, and has an idea of the bigger picture. So you want to avoid clients going out to other service providers at all costs. Keep as much business with you directly as you can possibly. Couple more. Involvement in HTML and email production will also do a couple of things for you. It ensures that your firm has a future in content distribution. At the end of the day, we can look at ourselves as printers, people who put ink on paper, or you can look at yourself as somebody that helps get content and the marketing message and the corporate message into the people's hands in the right channel, in the right way, at the right time. That's what cross-media marketing is all about. So you can establish a relationship that relies on trust and quality of work. That's really important when you're managing all these moving parts. They need to know you're a professional. They need to know that you know what you're doing. And when there's a creative problem, when there's new technology, they need to know they can turn to you and that you understand that. So lowest price bid is not an issue, right? We're now out of the commodity business. We're not relying on just ink on paper and making sure that paper looks good and the printing's good. We're actually talking about professional services, timeliness, trust, managing the data. So those are really good competitive edges to start building up in your business model. So cyclical business instead of a one-off. That's absolutely key. These programs are ongoing. The outsourcing is ongoing. The technology is ever shifting. People start to think of you for these items, and you are going to get cyclical business every time a project comes up. You want that client thinking of you and picking up the phone. So these are all great strengths and good takeaways about why we want to focus on these things that will help drive growth in 2013. That brings us about to the end of our seminar here, 2013 Marketing Outlook. Again, my name is John Fager with JFM Concepts, and we're the makers of VDP Web, cross-media marketing software, and we're enabling printers and MSPs to easily put PURLs, generic URLs, 800 number tracking, and all kinds of cross-media tracking and content management into their communications. If you have any questions or want some more information, please feel free to reach out to us. And we thank you very much for your attention and time.